Welcome to Bhakti Steps. We will start today with chapter 6 of Sense of Self-Realization. Before that, there are prayers on my screen. You can repeat with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shikruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Tapadamam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण प्रदान से अकनारिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावन श्री विश्वभानु देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुवैव च पतितानां भावनेभ्यो वैष्णवो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome again. This is Science of Self-Realization. About 8 chapters in it. We'll be completing 6, 7, 8. Hmm? So the way we'll go through it is I will ask, to I'll ask you to read, and then we'll stop and discuss certain points in it. Okay. Finding the cure for today's social ills: crime, what, why, and what to do. So this is a July 1975 interview with Chicago Police Department Media Relations Lieutenant David Mose. Asks about curbing the upward spiraling US crime rate. Srila Prabhupada replies, if human beings are not given the facility to learn about God, then they will remain on the level of cats and dogs. You cannot have peace in a society of cats and dogs. The thief and the murderers already know the law, yet they still commit violent crimes due to their unclean hearts. So our process is to cleanse the heart. Okay. So I need two volunteers. One is to read what Lieutenant Mose is saying, and one is to read what Srila Prabhupada is saying. So can someone become Mr. Lieutenant Mose? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. So you will read what Lieutenant Mose is saying, and
Hmm.
another devotee, can you read what Srila Prabhupada is saying?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read.
Okay. So Mataji, can you start?
Yes. I understand you have some ideas that could help us in our efforts to prevent crime. I'd be very interested to hear them.
The difference between a pious man and a criminal is that one is pure in heart and the other is dirty. The dirt is like a disease in the form of uncontrollable lust and greed in the heart of the criminal. Today, people in general are in this diseased conditions, and thus crime is very widespread. When the people become purified of these dirty things, crime will disappear. The simplest process of purification is to assemble in a congregation and chant the holy names of Lord. This is called Sankirtan and is the basis of our Krishna conscious movement. So, if you want to stop crime, then you must gather as many people as possible for mass Sankirtan. The congregational chanting of the holy name of the God will dissipate all the dirt things in everyone's heart, and then there will be no crime.
Okay.
Do you have? Okay. Should I
Uh, yeah,
continue?
yeah. So we'll stop and we'll discuss, what Prabhupada is trying to say. So like any other, policeman, he's saying how to prevent crime. And Srila Prabhupada is saying we should congregate and chant the holy name of Krishna. Right?
Hmm. Yes, Prabhuji.
Um, so can you give me reasons of why this will work? chanting of holy name will work. And why is it that, I mean, we need to be practical also, right? So how come crime will stop if people start chanting Hare Krishna, or people start chanting the holy name of God, you know?
So it will purify them, Prabhuji. Chanting the holy name of the Lord purifies the person.
Yeah, how it purifies the person.
They don't have any illicit or dirty thoughts in their mind.
Chanting holy name. Well, we sometimes, we see that there are these so-called, uh, sadhus who were caught in scams, sexual scams, abusive scams, right? Every now
Yes.
and then we find some sadhu, some babaji getting caught in some scams. Now they are also chanting the holy name. So how is it that this holy name is going to work?
Prabhuji, the holy name that they chant is for showing, right? So if somebody is chanting the holy name to get connected to Krishna and to work in His pleasure, then that person will not think about crime. But if the person is using holy name for the sake of business or for misleading other people, then they are not actually chanting the holy name. They are misusing that name, and they are in a position of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they are pretenders. They are not holy name chanters.
Right, right, right. Yes. So there are many things, when we say Sankirtana, um, uh, it has some assumptions that this chanting of holy name is under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, and it is done to achieve uh, uh, wait it is done to achieve to learn about God, okay, to know God, to love God, okay. These are the objectives of chanting, ultimately to achieve love for Krishna. When it is not for love for Krishna, then this chanting won't be pure. And when this chanting is not pure, then we will see such scams even in religious circles. This is one of the question Moses is going to ask. What I have raised this question, right? What is Moses going to ask? So, chanting, um, chanting will dissipate the dirty things in our heart. Now, can you give me an example uh, where chanting has removed all the dirty things in heart? Do you know any shastric example?
Prabhuji, the example of Valmiki Rishi, he was
Hmm.
a hunter and he used to do all
Yes,
killing
right.
for this. He started Ram Ram and everything
Ah.
stopped.
So previously he was a dacoit named Ratnakar. He used to kill people. So one day he met Narad Muni, where they discussed about karma. And then through karma he came to know that he will suffer so many reactions. So then he asked Valmiki, Narad Muni, that how can I get rid of all these karmas? So he said he should chant the holy name of Ram, because he was so much into killing he couldn't even chant the name properly. Instead of saying Ram, he said Mara. So Narad Muni said, okay, you can keep continuing. So you see, the purpose of Ratnakar chanting was to cleanse himself. Okay, it was not to do any show bottle spiritualism that sometimes some Babajis are doing, right? So it is to cleanse oneself. So that purpose should be there. Okay, let's go forward. Can we read?
Do you have any feelings about crime here in the United States as opposed to the crime in your own country of India?
What is the definition of a crime?
Any trampling on the rights of one person by another person?
Read.
Yes, one definition is the same. In the Upanishads, it is said that
Ishyavasam idam sarvam.
everything belongs to God, so everyone has the right to utilize whatever is allocated to him by God. But one may not encroach upon others' property. If one does so, it becomes a crime. Actually, the first crime is that you Americans think that this land of America is yours. Although 200 years ago it was not yours, you have come from other part of the world and claimed it as your land. Actually, it is God's land and therefore it belongs to everyone. Since everyone is a child of God, the vast majority of people have no conception of God. Practically speaking, everyone is godless. Therefore, they should be educated to love God. In America, your government has a slogan, "In God we trust." Is that correct?
Yes.
But
No.
where is yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
But where is the education about God? To trust is very good, but simple trust will not endure unless it was backed up with scientific knowledge of God. One may know that he has a father, but unless he know who his father is, his knowledge is imperfect, and that education is the science of God is lacking.
Yeah. So few things Prabhupada said here is very interesting. First of all, Prabhupada spoke about this verse, Ishyavasam idam sarvam. So this particular verse comes in Ishopanishad. We will just go there. Very first verse. Ishyavasam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatam jagat tena tvaktena bhunjita magrita kasya svit dhanam. Everything animate, inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things knowing well to whom they belong. So, what is needed for us is already given in this material world. We should take only that much and should not take other things uh, which do not belong to us. So if you know the food pyramid, this is a very famous diagram, right? This food pyramid, if you look at it, food pyramid, or maybe mm, balanced diet, ecosystem. Maybe this is not the right one. Animal food pyramid. Yeah, this is what I was looking. We all know this diagram, right? It was taught in our schools. From the base, the plants, they are there are such animals which are primary consumers, reptiles. Then there are those who eat these reptiles. snakes. Then there are those who eat the snakes, like that. Now, if you see this in this food pyramid, uh, maybe we should. Where is human being? Where is human being?
Should be primary consumers.
Hmm. But human being, he can eat everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing is that already the system is set. Nobody breaks this system. The animals, the reptiles, the birds, they follow this system. Okay. They eat what is set for them. But the human being can disturb any of the system, right? It can disturb anything. Therefore, this instruction is given for the human being because he can disturb the whole pyramid, actually, the whole ecosystem. That's why we are seeing climate change, pollution, so everything. All this is because of the human being only. It is not like the animals are creating climate change or pollution or something. It is the human being who is interrupting in this system. So the Vedas, they say that what is set for you as a quota, you just take that. You don't take everything else. Okay. And jiva jivasya jivana, meaning the jivas are dependent on other jivas, and this is the same concept. This jiva is dependent on this one is this one is this. You are also dependent. Hmm? You take that which is necessary for you. Okay. And if you disturb this, then what will happen? If you disturb this, we are going to see all these problems that we are seeing today: climate change, pollution. Why? Because human being has disturbed this system. Hmm? Because of its greed, too much of uh, what to say, technological progress and all that. It's just creating more pollution, more carbon dioxide. Some animals are getting extinct because of so much of killing that is going on. Hmm. Like over the period of time, animals got extinct uh, due to hunting, right? uh, Animals have been extinct. There's some, like this kind of animals, they were there, but too much of killing has extinct the animals. um, uh, yeah, just hold on for a few seconds, I'll come.
Sunil Prabhu, you're from which center?
मैं तो यही from Karamangalam.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I was discussing this, what animals, like, so many things are there. um Tigers, lions, the numbers is decreasing. The reason is too much of hunting is going on, was going on, still today it's going on. Rhino, how many rhinos are there in the world? Hmm? So the shastras say that if you disturb this whole quota and all that, then the material world will affect us. Okay. So first thing is to understand that this particular world doesn't belong to us. We are just temporary placed here, and we are just taking care of it for some time, and then we have to leave. It's like, a rented place. You don't disturb the rented place so much. You just come, live there for some days, and then you go away. So don't think it all belongs to you. So first thing, Prabhupada is saying that we need to understand who is the real owner of all this. And then from that perspective, we can start living, uh, what you say, in harmony with the world. So in America, they say in God we trust. On their dollar everywhere it is printed, in God we trust. But actually there is no education about God, because not too much details is also given in their religion. Uh, but in the Vedic science, there's a lot of details about God and incarnations, and a lot of things are given. So Lieutenant Moses says, do you feel that it's lacking only here in United States? Is this a problem only in United States? Srila Prabhupada says, no, it's everywhere. This age we live is called Kali Yuga, the age of forgetting God. Another definition of Kali Yuga is that you forget God. It is an age of misunderstanding and quarrels. Already so many quarrels are going on. So many wars are going on. And people's heart are filled with dirty things. But God is so powerful that if we chant His holy name, we become purified, just as my disciples have become purified of their bad habits. Now, one of the things now that Mr. Mose has come to meet Srila Prabhupada is because they have seen that uh, Prabhupada disciples, they were previously, hippies, and now they have purified the bad habits of, taking drugs, living like hippies. So at that point, the government was also interested in meeting Srila Prabhupada. How did that happen? Our movement is based on this principle of chanting the holy name of God. We give everyone the opportunity without any distinction. They can come to our temple, chant Hare Krishna, take little prasad as a refreshment, and gradually become purified. So if the government authorities give us some facility, then we can hold mass sankirtan. Then without doubt the whole society will change. Now it is very interesting that Prabhupada is saying we should chant Hare Krishna and take little prasad and come to temple. There are three things that he says here. It is not just chanting. It is like first he says come to temple, then he says chant Hare Krishna, then he says take prasad. So can you just think about why three things are said here? Prabhupada would only say come chant Hare Krishna, but no, he's saying you come to temple.
Prabhuji, when you come to temple, you get devotee association, which is very important for progress in Krishna consciousness.
Devotee association.
Hmm.
You get association of devotees. So if you can expand that more, what exactly is that association? What is the quality of that association?
You are meeting people who are also in chanting, attending,
Yeah. So you are
hearing.
meeting with people who are like-minded.
Yes.
Okay, like-minded. Second thing is they are uh, there is a association of sincere people who want to love God. Okay, so you're meeting people who are like-minded, who are sincere, and they want to love God. When you come in this association, you get inspiration. It becomes easier to, like, it is said that to become a drunkard, you just have to associate with other drunkards. That's it. Automatically, one will become drunkard. Getting? If one wants to become a cricketer, he has to go and associate with those who are playing cricket. Similarly, if those who want to become devotees should come to temple, because temple is a place where they'll get association and they will get service also. Service to the deities, service to devotees, and all that. And then chant Hare Krishna, definitely chanting the holy names. This will purify. And now let's talk about prasad. What is so special about prasad?
It's been offered to the Lord as bhoga and it gets converted into prasad and gets purified.
Why? What purification is needed? It's a simple food, right? Like, um,
Prabhuji, it's also about the kind of mindset a person has when she or he is cooking. You know,
okay,
whether they've had the right mindset, whether they're thinking about the Lord when they're cooking. Uh, so
okay, but that's about cooking. But what is about prasad?
it's in the material realm, no, Prabhuji, the prasadam that it is there. I mean, the bhoga that we offer. So when
Okay,
we offer it to Krishna, it's
huh.
purified.
Purified of what? What is the impurity in the food?
It is the
Prabhuji, in the Kali Yuga, we all are impure
What
we
What
are
is the impurity?
because we live in illusion. We live under the illusionary energy, and that is how we think that we are above God, and we all think
No,
of.
no. But what is the impurity? See, first of all,
We are envious of Krishna. And that's the impurity. We have not
I'm just
surrendered
talking
to
about
him.
prasad, food. Any food can work, but why prasad should only be there?
Because once it's offered to Krishna, it becomes pure. And by
Yeah,
eating
but
pure
what
food,
was the problem, first of all, in the food? That it had to be offered to Krishna to purify it. We get water, but we pass the water to purifier because the water has impurities. It has dirt, some bacteria, and all that. So all that needs to be removed. So we therefore pass it through impurities. But what is the problem with the food? First of all, what kind of food? Let's talk with that. What kind of food? There are two kinds of food, basically, right?
Sat, yeah, sattvic and non-sattvic food,
Well, let's put it in simple words: non-veg,
veg and non-veg. Yes,
veg, and non-veg. Okay, which one will choose?
veg.
Why?
As in non. So, Prabhuji, in non-veg, when the
Huh.
animals have a higher state of consciousness.
Okay.
So, and when we kill an animal, we are interrupting the process of progress of that soul.
Okay.
So that is considered to be a sin.
Okay. Okay. So it is sinful to eat flesh, because killing is done, right? Because killing and all that is done, right?
And
yes,
also
and
because when you kill an animal, the animal can't grow again, as opposed to a plant. Like for example, in a plant, let's say it's a tomato plant. We pluck the tomatoes, you'll have more tomatoes that will grow.
Okay, we'll
So
come to that point. But let's talk about non-veg food where we kill. Okay, killing is like you said, taking life, which actually we should not take because everyone has a right to live. Okay, and they are supposed to live so many years and all that, but if we kill someone, then we are interrupting in that process. Okay, it's a crime basically. If we kill a human being, it's a crime. What to speak? Then same thing can be applied to animals also. So there has to be some sinful reaction, right? There has to be some sinful reaction to it, isn't it? So to avoid that sinful reaction, we don't eat non-veg. Is that clear?
Yes.
Right? Because it has sinful reaction.
And also probably when the animal dies, they accumulate lots of hormones and other things,
Okay.
and all that pain, that also is not good for our body to eat.
Okay. Good point. Yeah, that's the second point I was trying to come is that uh, someone may say, okay, if the animal dies natural death, then can I eat the flesh and all that?
Uh,
It may sound right
another
because now the animal is dead, so you can eat the flesh.
another argument is that our body is not
Yeah,
meant to digest
human
non-veg
body,
food.
yes, human body is meant for vegetarian food,
Yes.
and there are many reasons for it. You take the teeth, you take the long small intestine, and so many arguments are there. It's very similar to vegetarian animals actually. They also have teeth like we like us, only small, and the intestine is long. Like the carnivorous animals, they have very small intestine because the non-veg food it starts decomposing. Anything that's decomposing, right, can do harm to the body. So the body is made like that it doesn't remain in the system for long. So that's why carnivorous animals, their intestine is small, so that it doesn't remain in the body for a long time. The decomposing food is stomach. So anyway, our body, human body is meant for vegetarian food. Teeth, long, small intestine, etc., etc. Our hands, our claws. We don't have like lion and tigers. So that's why we avoid. First of all, we avoiding non-veg because it is sinful reaction, taking life and all that. Second thing, it is our body is not meant for that. Okay. Uh, okay. So that's right. Uh, now, okay, why we choose vegetarian food? Okay, now let's talk about vegetarian food. Is vegetarian food without sin? Is vegetarian food without sin?
It is also sinful, and but it is comparatively less as
Yeah,
compared
yeah,
to vegetarian.
yeah. Because plants are killed. No? Plants are killed. See, we uproot the plants and all that. We don't let it die on its own. Uh, like coriander, plants, leaves, and all that. There is some sin in it. Agreed. The grains, uh, like wheat, jawar, and all that, they are harvested after the plant has completely dried. But in case of vegetables and all that, there will be some it's a living thing. Same for the grains also. There are living entities within the grains also. So there will be some sin. Okay, but it is comparatively less, right? Because you were telling in the start that consciousness is less and all that compared to animals and all. And anyway, human body has to depend on that. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says a very nice verse. He says, "Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham abhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmanaha." One who offers me with love and devotion a leaf, flower, water, fruit, I will accept it. So we offer to Krishna vegetarian food because he says that in Bhagavad Gita. There's a proof for it. There is no muttonam, chickenam, andanam mentioned here. There's only thing is patram pushpam phalam toyam. Patram is leaf, Pushpam is flower, Phalam is fruit, Toyam is water. And in devotion, we have to serve Krishna. So we can offer him food. And he says what kind of food also, very clearly. And when we offer this food, Krishna takes away the sin and then it becomes prasad. Now you understand how it becomes prasad? He takes away that sin. Okay, that's why we take prasad. So what happens when we take food which is without sin and it has uh, what to say? It has Krishna's love in it, actually. Let's put it like that. It has two things in it. It is without sin and it has Krishna's love in it. Krishna puts his love in it. So such food purifies us. If we take sinful food, it will disease us, it will change our consciousness, right? If we take only vegetarian food, it will keep us in mode of goodness. But when we take prasad, it is vegetarian food which is without sin, and it has Krishna's love in it. So now we are aspiring for Krishna's love and it is coming through his food, through prasad. So you see, these three things are very, very powerful things. Association, chanting Hare Krishna, taking prasad. In association, we get devotees, we get services. They make sure that we chant and we get prasad. We get all three. And that's how this whole thing works. It's a very collective, uh, what to say, effort. Any questions at this point? Okay. So now let's move forward. We spent a lot of time discussing. So can we read Mose and Srila Prabhupada?
If I understand you correctly, sir, you are saying that we should emphasize a return to religious principles.
Certainly, without religious principle, what is the difference between a dog and a man? A man can understand religion, but a dog cannot. That is the difference. So, if the human society remains on the level of dogs and cats, how can you expect a peaceful society? If you bring a dozens of dogs and put them together in a room, will it be possible to keep them peaceful? Similarly, if human society is filled with men whose mentality is at the level of the dog, how can you expect peace?
Yeah. So see this statement now. What is the difference between man and a dog? So this comes from Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, there is a very nice verse which says, "Ahara nidra bhayamaitunayamacha." Maybe here. Let's see. Yeah. So this particular verse comes in Mahabharata, which Prabhupada is saying, "Ahara nidra bhayamaitunevacha samana etat pashubis niranam dharmo hi tesham adiko visheshu dharmena hina pashubi samana." Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, these are common between humans and animals. Animals also sleep, eat, mate, and defend. Then what is the difference between animal and human being? Dharmo hitesham adhiko visheshu. Dharma. The religious principles are the difference. So Prabhupada immediately points out that religious principles are needed. Otherwise, one will remain animals. one will remain on on the level of animals only. We sometimes see some, like we see these tribes, right, which are uh, African tribes, or the tribes that are there in Andaman Nicobar, which have not been yet connected with the world, right, with the civilization. Now they may not have a conception of God and all that, so they're living like that. What you call as tribes, and uh, so they will live on the level of, animals only, but it will be religious principles that will make a person civilized. Okay, if some of my questions sound disrespectful, it is only because I do not completely understand your religious belief. I mean no disrespect whatsoever. No, it is not a question of my religious beliefs. I am simply pointing out a distinction between human life and animal life. Animals cannot possibly learn anything about God, but human beings can. However, if human beings are not given the facility to learn about God, then they will remain on the level of cats and dogs. You cannot have peace in a society of cats and dogs. Therefore, it is the duty of governmental authorities to see that people are taught how to become God consciousness. Now, this is a very important point Prabhupada is saying, that actually it is one of the duty of the government to make sure that the people are taught how to become God conscious. This is something that no government in today's time is doing it, isn't it? No government is doing it all over the world. But recently, 1 year back, there was opening of Ram Janmabhoomi temple, right?
Yes.
So this one incident created such a wave, an awakening in the people within India and outside India, that suddenly who were not at all interested in religion started become interested in religion, and they were chanting name of Ram, and they were taking out, people on the road, right? If you remember, 1 year back, suddenly in the society people were saying, okay, let's get together, hmm, and we will go around with lamp, and we will chant Ram name, Ram bhajan. So one activity of God consciousness created such a wave in the people. Similarly, recently the Kumbh Mela, if you see, suddenly everyone wanted to visit Kumbh Mela, right? Someone in the family just got up and said, I want to go. And we were thinking, Arey, this guy never went to temple, and he wants to go 500, 700 kilometers away to Kumbh Mela. How suddenly he has become religious, right? So, point is that when such activities of God consciousness are there, the people become religious actually. So, in the Vedic times, now the government, or let's say the kings, used to teach people how to become God conscious. They used to themselves set examples. Hmm? And they used to themselves follow dharma, and they used to themselves follow religious principles, and that used to set the examples for the people in general, right? Like uh, like those who read the story of, Shivaji Maharaj and Maharashtra, it is not just because of it's not just only of his valor, in defeating the Mughal army and all that. No, with that, there is the religious principles also that he followed, isn't it? That he's glorified today, right? So such were the examples of the Vedic kings. So, Prabhupada is saying that actually it is the duty of the government. authorities. Now, even Krishna says this. He says this in, I guess, fourth chapter. Let's see. Or sorry, maybe third chapter. Ah, see, he points out this verse. कर्मणेव हि संसिद्धिम अस्तिथि जनकादेह लोक संग्रह एवापि संपश्याम कर्तुम अर्हसि. Krishna is saying in third chapter 20th verse, kings such as Janaka. You know Janak? Who is Janak?
Father of Sita Mata.
Yeah. So he is giving example of him, that he used to perform all kinds of dharma, prescribed duties. That for what? For the sake of educating people in general, you should perform your work. Arjuna was saying, I don't want to fight. And Krishna is giving example of Janak. He is saying, Are, look at Janak. He used to perform all his prescribed duties to educate people how one should perform. And you are saying no. So Prabhupada is pointing out this big principle actually, this is very, very important principle. If we see, we are spreading Krishna consciousness, right? We are distributing books, we are holding programs and all that. The very powerful way of spreading Krishna consciousness is going to happen when the highest authority in the country, especially the government, the king and all that, when they take to Krishna consciousness, then that preaching will be the topmost. There's one more verse. There's one more verse which Krishna says, Shrestha. Why I'm pointing out is because Prabhupada is saying everything from Shastras. And we will try as much as we want to connect it to where Prabhupada is saying what. Then only we can appreciate from what things Prabhupada is saying. Shrestha. What to say? Maybe leaders. Let's see. Spectacle. Yad acharati shrestha. Yes, this is the verse I was looking for. Shrestha. Yad acharati shrestha. Oh, next verse only. Okay, sorry. The very next verse, Krishna says, Yad acharati shreshthas tat evarto janah sa yat pramanam krute lokasta anuvartate. Shrestha means respectable leaders. What the respectable leaders set as example, the common people will follow. Anuvartate means they will follow. Whatever actions great men perform, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by his exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So if given a chance to preach, there is common man and then there's a great man, a leader. Whom do you think will be more effective?
The leader.
Yeah. That's why you see Krishna, he says in 4th chapter, he gave this Bhagavad Gita knowledge to whom? Proktavan aham vivasvam manvate. Sorry. I instructed this imperishable science of knowledge to sun god, Vivaswan. Vivaswan instructed to Manu, father of mankind. Manu instructed to Ikshvaku. All these are great leaders. The sun is the leader of all planets. He gave it to the first Manu. The Manu is the leader of all human beings. And Manu gave it to his son, Ikshvaku. And Ikshvaku gave it to him. So you see, Krishna is saying, that he's focusing more on the leaders. Because if the leader is on the right path, then the common people will follow easily. You're getting? You understand this point? Uh, what is this? Sorry. You're getting this point, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the second question is, who are the natural leaders in the society? Because who are the natural leaders in the society? Of course, the king, the government, and all that. These are natural leaders. Anything more that you want to add here? Can you tell?
The one who is materialistically in a higher position, people consider them as leaders who has been
No,
successful.
not even the parents. Third one is the teachers. So, so we should make sure that all of these are on the path of dharma. Okay, because all of these are leaders. So on a government level, on let's say on a country level, it's the king or the government. On the family level, it is the parents, husband, wife, father, mother, grandfather, grandmother. In the school place, it is the teachers. We should make sure that such leaders are on the path of dharma. Then it will be a very powerful combination. Okay. So coming back to our point. Otherwise, there will be trouble because without God consciousness, there is no difference between God and man, dog and man. Sorry, the dog eats, we eat. Dog sleeps, we sleep. Dog has sex, we have sex. Dog tries to defend itself, and we also try to defend ourselves. These are common factors. The only difference is that dog cannot be instructed about his relationship with God, but man can be. If possible, please take it as a reference. I'm writing on now, Lieutenant Mose is not easily understanding this point. So he's saying maybe we need peace. We need peace to return to religion. Must we not have peace first? So can you argue with Lieutenant Mose at this point before we read what Prabhupada is saying?
It's a reverse cycle. Without religion, there cannot be peace. So,
Okay.
only religion can bring peace. It is not the
See, for
reverse way
Mose,
that
Moses' problem is religion is corrupted. It is disturbing the peace. Therefore, he is not accepting this return to religion. He is thinking peace is more important. Why? Because there have been wars due to religion, right? So he's thinking, oh, it's not like that. Now, what is Prabhupada trying to say? Prabhupada is saying to get peace first we need to make human beings, not animals, right? Prabhupada is saying we should not be on the same level of animals. You cannot, if you bring 10 dozens of dogs and put them in room, will they be peaceful? This is Prabhupada's argument, right? See, Moses is not understanding this argument. Why? Because so simple reason is he is not understanding what is religious principle. For him, religious principle could be just faith, but Prabhupada is saying it's not just faith. Hmm? We'll look into it. Okay, Srila Prabhupada. No, that is the difficulty. At the present moment, no one actually knows the meaning of religion. See, Moses is thinking religion brought wars. And that is true. There have been wars because of religion. Isn't it? If you look into history, people have fought wars because, he's of that religion, I'm of this religion. Right?
Yes.
So, but Prabhupada is saying no, people don't know what is religion. That is the problem. People think faith is religion. Faith means what? Faith means, okay, faith means, I believe this wall is green. And the other one says, no, I believe this wall is red. But is that religion? No, it is beyond faith. What is it? Religion means to abide by the laws of God, just as a good citizen means to abide by the laws of government. Because no one has an understanding of God, no one understands the laws of God or the meaning of religion. This is the present status of people in today's society. They are forgetting religion, taking it to be kind of faith. Faith may be blind faith. I think this wall is red. No, no, I think this wall is blue, and we'll fight over it. Faith is not a real description of religion. Now you understand the point? Religion is not just faith. Religion means the laws given by God, and anyone who follows this law is religious, whether a Christian, Hindu, or Muslim. Now, Moses brings out a very important point. He says, with all due respect, isn't it true that in India, where religious customs have been followed for centuries upon centuries, we are seeing not a return, but we are drawing away from spiritual life? You came from India, but there is a decline of spiritual life in India itself. Then why we should? Then why I should listen to you? Prabhupada points out, no, it is because of bad leadership. Otherwise, the vast majority of people are fully conscious of God and they try to follow the laws of God. Here in West, even big college professors do not believe in God or in life after death. But in India, even the poorest man believes in God and in next life. He knows that if he commits sin, he will suffer, and he will act piously, he will enjoy. To this day, if there is a disagreement between two villagers, they will go to temple to settle it. Because everyone knows that the opposite parties will hesitate to speak lies before the deities. So in most respects, India is still 80% religious. That is the special privilege to taking birth in India. And the special responsibility also. It's a privilege and responsibility. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Bharata bhumite hoila manusya janma jar yar janma sarthak kari kara paropkar. Now this is a very important substance. I'll just take some time here. Bharat bhumite hoile manusya janma yar. See, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is not different than Krishna. What is saying? Bharat Bhumi. So then we are in Bharat Bhumi, right? Here we have taken Manusha Janma. So it is a very rare birth. Then he says, Janma Sarthaka Kari Kara Paropkar. So first we should perfect our life. Janma Sarthaka Kari. First perfect our life and then do Para Upkar. Para Upkar means then help others. This is a very important line. Why I say this is important is because when devotees try to preach, they forget that the preaching has to be done to oneself first, then to others. Okay, so they are more interested in others becoming perfect rather than oneself, right? So this is not what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, first you try yourself very hard to purify yourself, and then you do paropkar. How many of you taken sat in a flight in an aeroplane?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Do you
I've
know
been.
one of the instruction which the air hostess gives? He says if there is a pressure build up or whatever, pressure goes down, then first you wear your mask and then make your child wear the mask. Have you heard this instruction?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Do you see why they make this instruction very specific? First you, then your child. Why they don't say first child, then you, but instead they kept saying Everywhere, in international flight, domestic flight, everywhere they say the same thing. First you, then the child. Why they give the child the second priority? Do you know why?
If we don't help ourselves, we'll not be able to help others too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. While putting the mask on the child only, we will faint. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also saying, first purify your life and then ask people to purify their life. There's a very nice story. Once a mother takes her child to a sadhu, and she says, she complains to sadhu, my son is taking too much of sweet. That's not good for him. Please tell him not to take that much sweet. You know what the sadhu said? Sadhu said, okay, come after 1 week. Now, mother is a simple woman. She says, okay, fine, I'll come after 1 week. 1 week, she comes back again. And then the sadhu stands up and says to the child, okay, now stop eating sweets. Now the mother is thinking, Are, you just, this one line only, stop eating sweets. You would have said that in 1 week before, right? I wouldn't have come here again. You know what the sadhu said? He said, even I was taking sweet. So I have stopped taking sweet for last 1 week. And now I have become eligible now to tell him. Now, what is the point of becoming eligible to tell other person? Why do you think one should become eligible to become, no, to tell to other person? Why do you think it's a very important principle? First you become eligible and then you speak. You have any idea? For simple reason is, if you yourself are not following, what can you say to others, right? At home, if there is a fight between husband wife, they end up saying this: you don't follow, why are you telling me, right? Isn't it? This is a very standard argument. Ends up between husband wife. You don't follow, you tell me why. First you follow, then I will listen. Did this happen in your family life?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So simple
Prabhuji,
thing.
sorry to interrupt the flow, but I need to drop.
Yeah, we are ending right now. It's time up, 8:30. It's 1 hour only. I'll just complete this one line. You can drop, you can drop. I'll just complete
No,
this.
Prabhuji, if it's few minutes, I'll continue and maybe
Yeah, yeah.
can wait for the next few.
So yeah, point here I wanted to mention is that devotee should first purify oneself and be sincere in preaching to others. Okay. Anyone who has taken birth in India should make his life perfect by becoming Krishna conscious, and then he should distribute Krishna consciousness all over the world. Okay. So we'll stop here. It's time up, 8:30. We'll continue tomorrow. Any question or comment before we close?
No, Prabhuji.